In this video lecture number 3 entitled Origin of GIS, we will discuss where did GIS begin and how is it now. So the evaluation of GIS from the initial stage to the current stage what is now, that we try to explain here very briefly, because as you know, history is always a very lengthy story. So we try to cover briefly the entire evaluation of GIS in this particular topic. So let's start. So this is, in this slide I just show you a historical map, very old map that I present in front of you. As I told you in my earlier lecture that most of the people think that GIS is nothing but a map preparation using computer. Yes, that is true, but apart from this, many other things you can perform using GIS, many interesting things you can perform using GIS. But map is definitely one very important part of GIS. Mapping has revolutionized how we think about location. Maps are important decision making tools. They help us get to places. As you know, 10 to 15 years earlier, the way we saw the location information on the map and currently the way we saw it on the map, dramatic changes are there. For example, nowadays, you know, almost everyone's life Google Map is engaged. Whatever we want to do, most of the cases we open Google Map in our smartphone and we search lot of things. Where are the nearest ATM counter? Where are the nearest bank? If I want to go to the destination, what should be the shortest path? So all such type of things we perform nowadays with a Google Map. So it's a revolutionized in this way the map, as now you can see now, and they are becoming more immersed in our everyday lives. For example, I told you already, Google Map is there. So in the next few slides we shall uncover some of the key moments in the history of GIS that has shaped it what it was become today. Now the thing is that advancement in GIS was the result of several technologies. For example, databases, computer mapping, remote sensing, computer programming, geography, mathematics, and more importantly computer science all played a key role in the development of GIS. All these have a huge contribution to the improvement, to the development of GIS. Now we first start with a very important task performed by Dr. John Snow. So paper mapping analysis with a cholera clusters. The history of GIS all started in the year 1854. But remember that at that time even computer was not at all discovered and nobody does not know what is GIS. I mean, nobody aware of the terminology GIS. Okay, but at that time, cholera hit the city of London, and then British physician Dr. John Snow began mapping cholera outbreak locations, roads, property boundaries, and water lines. So when the cholera hit the entire city of London at that time, Dr. John Snow prepared a paper map where he present roads, property boundaries, water lines, and also the cholera outbreak locations. So this is the picture of Dr. John Snow. He used mapping to illustrate how cases of cholera were centered around a water pump, because many people at that time thought the disease was propagating through the air. Nobody believed at that time that the cholera disease was spread through water. Most of them thought that it was propagating through the air. But this major work proved that no, through water cholera outbreak was happen. So this is the old paper map that Dr. John Snow prepared, and he proved the reason of cholera outbreak was due to certain water pump. This is the source of cholera outbreak location. His cholera map was a major event connecting geography and public health safety. At that time, in the year 1854, his activity connect geography with the public health safety. It also marked the start of a whole field of study, epidemiology, the study of the spread of disease. So one new field of study, epidemiology, appeared at that time by his activity. The work of John Snow demonstrated that GIS is a problem solving tool. Although I told you nobody knows GIS, because many of us, most of the people believe that this remarkable work was the foundation of GIS, because he performed a paper mapping analysis, and his analysis proved that such type of spatial analysis can solve lot of real world problem. He put geographic layers on a paper map and made a life-saving discovery. So although John Snow directly not at all developed any GIS or anything, but his mapping analysis or his geospatial analysis is a major foundation of GIS we can consider. Okay, then in this slide the history of GIS is remarkable. It has gone through stages of development. As I told you, it is linked to many many different types of development was related to evolution of GIS, database, computer mapping, geography, and this. It has been influenced from key people and technological improvement. Lot of people, key people engaged. Their discovery helped to improvement of GIS, development of GIS, and simultaneously technological development also happened. We can group the history of GIS into several stages of development. I mean, I mean, in general way, we can divide the entire GIS development into certain stages based on the duration of year. So according to this, there is one stage that is the before 1960, and at that time this is a GIS dark age is called, because at that time GIS was not at all invented, even computer not at all appear in production. So computer mapping was in the dark, because at that time nobody used computer for preparing map. Nobody thought about that. All mapping was done on paper, or you may call sieve mapping. Sieve mapping is basically use transparent sheet on light tables to identify areas of overlap. Most of the time this sieve mapping give inaccurate result, because when you overlap transparent sheet one upon another, that most of the time that not match properly, that may be moved from one place to another place, so give you inaccurate result. So either paper mapping or sieve mapping perform at that time, and by doing this they perform different types of analysis. Most of the cases give inaccurate result. Cartographers and the spatial user, user who handle geographical data, wanted to explore computing options for handling geographical data, because they realize this paper mapping or sieve mapping technique is not very appropriate. Lot of drawbacks, lot of problems are there. Okay, so for that reason they realize we have to use computer for preparing map and doing map analysis. But it's a dark age, nothing was developed, nothing was happened at that time. Then come 1960 to 1975, this tenure, which is called GIS pioneering stage. The upliftment of GIS happened during this time period. The early 1960 to 1975 was really the time period for GIS pioneering stage. Most of the GIS improvement happened, but dramatic improvement happened at that time. And it was happened due to lot of different types of advancement in technology. Some of these important advancements are map graphics as output using line printer. During this tenure, people discovered using printer, how can you print map graphics as a output. Advances in data storage with mainframe computer. At that time, desktop or personal computer is almost it's a dream for us. Computer means people think about such type of large mainframe computer size is almost like a almirah. So, so in this mainframe computer, advancement was happened for storing data, mainly geographical data, recording coordinates as data input, develop within computer, I mean within mainframe computer, how to store coordinate information as data. So huge technological developments happen, but still computer is very expensive. Uh, Forget about personal use. Only very large government organization and developed country only at that time can use computer. Okay. During this tenure, enter Roger Tomlinson, to whom we called the father of GIS. And Roger Tomlinson, and this is his picture. It was during Roger Tomlinson's tenure with the Canadian government in the year 1960s when he initiated, planned and directed the development of Canadian Geographical Information System, or in short CGIS. So Canadian government realized that they have to prepare one land inventory system because of their vast amount of territory. To manage this particular big territory properly, they realize they have to develop one proper land inventory system, and Roger Tomlinson, and they give this responsibility to the Roger Tomlinson and his group, and they develop first this CGIS. Although at that time people do not know what is GIS, they do not bother, they do not know about this terminology GIS. Okay, so the main goal of the CGIS is to store the land use, land cover data for the Canadian territory, store the soil data, soil map for this territory, store the drainage data. Not only that, also store the climate information, they also store within this CGIS. This was a key time in the history of GIS because many consider CGIS as the roots of GIS. I mean, nowadays what we see in GIS, that basically came from this CGIS. Most of the things what you see now in GIS, it was adopted from CGIS, and for that reason we call Roger Tomlinson the father of GIS. Then come the stage of 1960 to 75, GIS pioneering. Okay, in this time not only CGIS was developed, but many other government organizations also adopted GIS at that time. One of them is their United States Census Bureau, were the early adopters of some of the core principles of GIS. It was the pioneering work by the US Census Bureau that led to the digital input of the 1970 United States Census data in a geographic base file dual independent map encoding data format. So United States Census Bureau developed a GIS data format for storing all the related census data. So this is a huge work they perform, or we may call it huge innovation. The Ordnance simultaneously during this time period, the Ordnance Survey in the UK also started their routine topographic map development. They prepared topographic map. To this very date, the Ordnance Survey is still producing many different GIS data products. Every house location, every fencing, every stream in a single part of Great Britain. So, the Ordnance Survey of the United Kingdom, they still store their GIS data that was started at during that stage. Roger Tomlinson first used the term Geographic Information System in his publication work in the year 1968. He published a research paper entitled A Geographic Information System for Regional Planning. So that is considered the GIS terminology born once he published this research paper. People understand with the terminology, people know this terminology, GIS, Geographic Information System. Then come 1970 to 90, GIS software commercialization, because before that GIS was only developed in the government agencies. No private organization interested or use GIS. In the mid 1970s, Harvard Laboratory Computer Graphics developed the first vector GIS called ODC GIS. It was called the first vector GIS software they developed, named ODC GIS. Many computer cartographic software also developed at that time, by which people at that time can prepare map. In 1982, ESRI, the Environmental System Research Institute, a USA-based private software development company or organization, first developed ArcInfo desktop GIS software, and that led to the GIS software commercialization, because first one private organization, software development organization, they first prepared a GIS software. ESRI, they developed this ArcInfo software. Not only that, during this time, many other private software development organizations, they also developed lot of other GIS software during this time period. So for that reason, this stage is called GIS software commercialization. And this time period, 1990 to 2010, is called user proliferation. That means number of GIS user increased vastly during this time period, because at that time we get the cheaper personal computer, faster, more powerful computers develop. School, college, they can afford to buy, afford to use computer, so that user also increase at that time. Multiple software options, because at that time several types of GIS software now available. So organization, school, college, they can use it. Lot of different types of GIS data also available at that time. So availability of data, availability of software has increased, so the number of GIS user also increased during this time period. The launch of new satellites and integration of remote sensing technology definitely help user to use GIS, because because maybe you know that remote sensing technology basically give you the earth data. So this earth data we can use in GIS. 1990 to 2010 was the period in the history of GIS when it really took off. Slowly, GIS was being introduced in the classroom, in school, college, and even in the private company. They also eager to use GIS software for their work. They are they are they were interested at that time, and the private organization also started GIS. Software was capable to handle both vector and raster data. Although we have not discussed vector and raster data, this is basically two way we can store geographical data in computer, either in a vector or raster. So at that time software was capable to store both of these two types of data. With more satellite being launched into orbit, this data collected from space, this earth data could be consumed in a GIS, because many more commercial or many more government satellite launched at that time, and they collected different types of satellite image from low resolution to high resolution. So those sort of satellite image we can use in GIS. So people interest grow in this way. Not only remote sensing, another technology also developed or improved at that time, which is called global positioning system, or in short GPS, which is nothing but the satellite navigation system by which we can accurately measure any location on the earth's surface. Measurement means measurement of longitude, latitude of any particular location on the earth's surface in an accurate manner is possible with the help of this GPS technology. So this GPS technology also help GIS user to collect GIS data, not only satellite images. Okay, now 2010 to onward, this stage is called open source explosion. In my last lecture I told you proprietary and the open source software. So this tenure is the open source explosion. Open source software developed at that time. The range of commercial GIS software products out there seem endless. Many commercial GIS softwares are available. But what stand out is the big shift of GIS users building their own GIS software in an open collaborative way, not proprietary based. in a open environment, in a collaborative way. Lot of voluntary organization, lot of free coders, they developed such type of open source GIS software. This software is made available to the public and is called open source. The big plus is that this software is public use purpose at no cost. You don't need to buy this software. So especially school, college, they are very much interested in open source software because they can get it in free, public, anybody can use it without any cost. So open source is becoming mainstream nowadays. I mean, almost everything nowadays in GIS is possible to perform using different open source software. So versatile open source GIS software nowadays available. You can choose any one from them as a free of cost. You can use it. So that is a huge improvement of GIS. The proprietary one, their alternative is also available. We are gradually entering an era of open source GIS software. So this era is, this stage is also called era of open source GIS software. Even though there will always be a place for commercial GIS software. But don't think proprietary or commercial GIS software will be obsolete within few years. Not at all. Proprietary commercial GIS software will be as it is there. Their demand still will be there. But open source software help such type of school, college, for researcher or for government to make such type of initiative to prepare such type of free software, no cost software for us, for the GIS user. Okay, by this I just conclude this topic here. I just try to explain briefly the history or origin of GIS in front of you. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.